Hi everyone and welcome to this new Season 4 guide. In this week's guide, I'll teach you how to play Syndra. I hope you enjoy the video. Syndra is possibly the strongest mid laner in the game if you look at the lane alone. She can bully her opponents hard on lane and, when played correctly, is able to outdamage anyone in a 1v1 matchup. I discovered Syndra a couple of weeks ago and I can't wait to tell you all about her, so let's jump right to it. This guide will cover 3 major points: champion select, abilities, and in-game. Syndra is a very aggressive laner and requires offensive masteries and runes to amplify that aggressiveness even more. As you can see here, I have listed runes, masteries, summoner spells, item build, and skill order. Feel free to copy these settings for your own use, since they have proven to work for me. Before we get into the in-game tips and tricks, it is important to know what her abilities exactly do. I'll go over each ability one by one and briefly discuss how this ability is useful in-game. Her passive, Transcendence, gives each of her abilities an extra effect at maximum rank. This effect is different for all 4 skills, thus it makes her really powerful when she maxes a skill out. Her Q, Dark Sphere, spawns a ball on a target location, dealing damage to all enemies hit. This is her main damage dealer because it spawns the ball that you will use with the rest of your abilities. The damage scaling on this ability is great, and that's why we max this skill first. Her W, Force of Will, picks up either a ball or an enemy unit on first press. In the next 5 seconds, you have the ability to press W again to throw that ball/unit at the location, dealing damage to all enemies hit. Additionally, this ability slows the target's hit for 1.5 seconds. This ability is great for repositioning your balls and it makes hitting your Q easier because of the slow. Her E, Scatter the Weak, shoots a wave of damage towards a direction and knocks all targets hit away. If this wave hits a ball, the ball will shoot away and stun all enemies hit. This skill works on every ball on the battlefield, meaning that stunning enemies will get easier as you get more balls on the field. Then her ultimate, Unleash Power, picks up all the balls in the battlefield and shoots them all directly at one enemy. It is important to use the maximum amount of balls, which is 5, to be able to deal the maximum amount of damage. When there are no balls on the battlefield, she will shoot the 3 balls surrounding Syndra's model. Now that you know how her abilities work, it is time to give you some tips and tricks on how to do well with Syndra in-game. Syndra is a really strong champion on lane, but you got to make sure you hit your skills on your opponent to do well. This can be tricky in the start, and I've got a nice tip for you that can help you to hit more skill shots. You need to take an eye on the minions and check when your enemy is going in for a last hit. When he goes in for a last hit, you can easily hit your Q because he will be standing still when auto-attacking. This is a strategy that works really well and it causes your enemies to get low on HP relatively quick. Once you hit level 3 and you have all abilities available to you, you can start going very aggressive. Keep doing what I did previously with the last hits, but now you can extend that trait by stunning your opponents directly. First land that Q on him when he goes for the last hit, and then directly E towards him. When your opponent is stunned, throw an extra ball in there with your W. That will slow your opponent, making it very hard for him to get out. Chase your opponent with Q while slowed to perhaps grant you an early kill or a burnt flash. As you might think, on level 6 this becomes even more interesting. The giant burst Syndra has can easily kill off your targets when they are about 50% HP. However, make sure you have at least 2 balls on the battlefield before you use your ultimate, as this will grant you a nice damage boost. Ignite your opponent, use your ultimate, and perhaps Q him after that to grant you a fast kill. When I played Syndra, I used to have a lot of mana issues in the beginning. This was caused by me using my abilities onto minions too often. If you have a blue buff, this is fine. But if you don't have a blue buff, try to not use your spells to farm minions too often. Focus your spell usage onto enemy champions and farm with your auto attacks instead. One thing that is very dangerous about playing Syndra is the threat of ganks. Because of her low mobility, it is hard to escape ganks when you are pushed up. so therefore make sure you have proper warding around your lane. This pays off huge because you will be able to play aggressive while being safe from ganks. And if you want to know where to ward, check out my warding videos by clicking on the box in the middle of the screen. In teamfights, positioning is key. Syndra kind of plays like an AD carry when it comes to positioning. If you get hit by any major form of CC, you're going down. This is why you should always stay behind your tank lines and deal damage from a distance. I usually burst one high priority target down, then back off because they will try to focus me, and then go back in once the focus is not on me anymore. Hitting your stun on high priority targets can set up a nice engage as well. When they are stunned, you can hit all of your abilities on them, and from that point on, your team should be ahead by a nice portion already. Try to hit nice stuns if you want to carry games. An easy way to stun your target is to Q first and rapidly E after that. You will have full control of where you want the ball to be and in which direction you want to stun by applying this strategy. If you haven't used your stun yet, it is nice to take into consideration that if you use your ultimate on a target, it will drop 3 to 5 balls on the floor around that target. If you use your E with all these balls on the floor, it is almost guaranteed that you will hit your opponents with the balls. And that is pretty much all there is to it. It is now up to you whether you want to use my tips and whether you apply them correctly. If you do use my tips, I'm sure you will have a lot of fun with Syndra. She is possibly the strongest mid laner I've played, and she is a true solo queue carry champion. Master this champion and I'm sure you will get better as a player in no time. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video and want to see more Season 4 guides. I'll try to upload weekly guides about certain champions. Let me know in the comment section below which champion you want to learn next, and I hope to see you all next time in yet another Season 4 guide.